My beloved child, sit down, take a deep breath, and let your soul settle like still water. Before night wraps the city, before your mind is pulled away by endless worries, let me speak to you. These words are not messy illustrations or cold laws. They are an invitation home, an invitation to lay your hand upon the place of your heart and hear the primal music of life. From the day you were born, I have known every hair on your head, every step you would take, every cadence of your breath. I have prepared for you a piece of ground, not the land of hurry, but a plot of peace. Yet the world, with its blinking lights, its noisy language and outward measures, constantly persuades you that worth is earned by achievement and recognition, and you so easily trade away inner peace for those fleeting things. My child, I say, peace is not something dependent on circumstances. It is not the silence that comes only when everything goes your way. Peace is a garment to wear in every weather, in storms, in drought, in rainy seasons. You may not realize that for years you have carried burdens I never assigned you. You have borne anxiety about the future, as if the future were entirely in your hands. You have compared yourself to others, as if your value were the sum of the numbers on a nameplate. You have bowed to the voice of a hurried society's judgment, as if your voice were not worthy of being heard. But I call you back. You were not made for that life. You were made to walk in the freedom of grace, to breathe the air of hope, and to live to the rhythm of the unconditional love I have for you. I know the nights you stayed awake. I have watched your tired eyes stare into the dark, heard the heavy breaths and the quiet sobs of your heart. I count every tear you shed. I hold every long sigh. Nothing you hide will make me turn away. Indeed, when you close the door of your heart, I draw nearer, standing outside and knocking, not with blame but with patient gentleness. Do not fear to open the door. Do not be afraid to reveal the tender places. For it is in those cracks that I pour in grace, pouring in a healing that pieces the fragments back into a whole more beautiful than before. I want you to understand that stumbling is not the end. You may have returned to habits you once vowed to leave. You may have spoken words you later regretted. You may find yourself falling into old sins like a lost traveler finding the way home. But I declare I have seen it all, and I still call you mine. My grace is not given because you are perfect. It is given because I am graceful. As the word proclaims, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. Bring me your broken pieces, no need to hide, no need to adorn them, and I will turn them into a story of restoration. I will turn failures into lessons, your tears into water that nourishes compassion, and wounds into channels of mercy for others. Yet you must also guard what I entrust to you. Peace must be watched over like a treasure. The world has those who scatter noise and false comforts packaged as consolation. But in truth, they are addictive things that cause you to forget your source. The enemy knows that if he cannot take the Spirit from you, he will try to unsettle the peace in your mind, sowing fear, comparison, envy, accusation, and counterfeit consolations. When your mind is shaken, your discernment blurs and you can easily lose yourself. Therefore, I say, guard your mind. Treat it like a holy garden. The words you hear, the thoughts you cultivate all shape the fruit that will grow. How do you keep watch? First, learn to return to me each morning. Do not let the day begin with the world's noise. Begin with stillness with me, 1 minute, 10 minutes or more, where you lay down every anxiety and receive grace and direction. When you set things in that order, me first, then everything else, you will find the day no longer rules you. You will walk as the one guided by me. Second, be selective about what you watch and listen to. Not every piece of information is useful. Not every story needs your presence. Refuse words that sow fear, envy, or judgment. Seek those things that draw you nearer to truth. Third, cultivate a heart of gratitude. A grateful heart is a windbreak in storms. It trains you to see my hand in the small things. Do not mistake letting go for abandoning responsibility. Letting go is a wise act. You acknowledge what you cannot control and hand it over to the one who counts every anxiety. Letting go does not mean failure. It is the discerning step of faith. When you let go, you are saying, I trust that He is enough. And in that reply, I do the miraculous. I exchange your bewilderment for a heart of peace. Peace is not a prize for those absent from trials. It is your authority, a sacred entitlement granted by the Holy Spirit. When you walk in peace, you are not merely sheltered. You become an instrument of healing for others. You will be the keeper of the flame. Through the night, the gentle voice amid conflict, the hand that lifts the fallen from despair. And this terrifies the enemy, for he cannot contend with a heart at peace in me. Now, child, when you close your eyes to sleep tonight, place everything into my hands. Let your sleep be covered by the promise I have overcome, and in me you have overcome. Let my peace guard your dreams. Let it clothe your mind like armor. Tomorrow the world will still be loud, but my voice will ring louder. Choose to hear that voice first. Return to me again and again without shame. For I do not remember sin to condemn. I remember you to redeem. I am your refuge, your peace, your source of life. Rest in me, beloved, and let that peace transform every breath, every step, and every choice you make. Beloved child, I see that you are preparing, and I know your heart is restless with things that need arranging like a fruit picker. You want to gather good seeds into your basket so that new shoots may spring forth. Let me speak of spiritual preparation, not the world's preparation measured by lists and deadlines, but the preparation of the mind, the heart, and surrender. When you prepare in that way, what you set in order, I will tend. When you ask, have I prepared everything and put it into the basket? I answer, look inside before you look outside. Have you gathered enough prayer? Have you arranged gratitude? Have you let go of your fears? Those are the seeds the basket must hold for the harvest of your life to be abundant. First, you need to prepare with truthfulness. Do not bring to me ornate forms. They are not the offering I desire. I see your heart, and I long for a soul laid bare, unmasked. Truthfulness means you speak honestly to me about your fears, your desires, your failures, and hopes. When you do so, I can work deeply within you. Often you think preparation means covering every flaw so the world will not see. But I declare that it is precisely in those flaws you will witness my hand at work mending and renewing. Those seeds of honesty, once placed in the basket, will sprout into trees of trust. So before you tie the basket's cord, look into your heart and speak truly. Next, prepare yourself with discernment. Distinguish the useful from the distracting. In life, there are countless invitations, responsibilities, and noises, but not everything comes from me. Use the standard of peace. If something sows fear, unsettles your heart, pulls you away from the stillness in me, set it aside from the basket. If something nourishes, love helps you grow in virtue, and draws you closer to me, that is what belongs in the basket. This discernment does not come in a single moment, but by practice, frequent contact with me, reading the word of truth, and practicing silence to hear. Let your life basket be filled with seeds of wisdom, not the refuse of haste. Further, prepare with thoughtful action, especially the small but steady steps. The world often celebrates grand deeds and great decisions, but I treasure the quiet small things done with faithfulness. Offering a minute of prayer each morning, writing a line of gratitude before sleep, loving someone nearby through concrete acts, these are good seeds. Do not despise the small things. When you place those deeds in the basket, I will nourish them and make them grow. Remember, a basket full of many small good seeds is more precious than a basket with a few large seeds eaten by worms. You must also prepare by arranging relationships rightly. Some people come as blessings, some as trials, and some only pause briefly on your journey. Your life basket need not contain everyone in every season. Keep in the basket relationships that build you up, This does not mean casting anyone off, but knowing how to set wise boundaries. When a relationship repeatedly steals your peace and leaves you unsettled, bring it to me rather than leave it in the basket. Setting boundaries is a courageous and necessary act. I will teach you how to do it in love, not in anger. My child, preparation also means learning to let go. Letting go is essential so the basket does not become overloaded with the meaningless. You may grip too much projects, anger, hurt, anxieties, and weigh the basket so heavily you cannot move. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, it is a mark of wisdom. Letting go is entrusting to me what you cannot control. It is admitting your limits and placing trust in the Almighty. When you let go, I receive, heal, and return to you in a better way. Do not let your heart store junk, clear it out to make room for what is worth keeping. Prepare with patience. A garden cannot be sown and harvested immediately. Every harvest season requires time. There will be seasons of long waiting, and in those waits, you will be tempted by shortcuts, false consolations, quick compromises, hot reactions. But I declare patience is the evidence of mature faith. When you are patient, you give me the opportunity to work deeply. Keep watch over your mind while you wait. Do not trade peace for hasty choices. Your basket will be filled with things that endure, not with the temporary, if you wait in my presence. Prepare with gratitude. It is the instrument that turns everything into blessing. When you carry an attitude of thanksgiving, what seems lacking is illuminated by my hand. Gratitude makes small seeds precious. It helps you see providence, even within what appears chaotic. When you place gratitude into the basket, I multiply the blessings. You will find the ordinary day becoming a place of my favor. First, you may ask, Lord, when will my basket be full? I say the basket is full when your heart feels light, when my voice is clearer, and when you can sleep in peace. This is not the world's standard, but the soul's quality. You will know the basket is full not because it is heaped by quantity, but because it contains what I approve: honesty, discernment, faithful deeds, wise boundaries, the wisdom to let go, patience, and gratitude. When these are present, you may step out with your basket in hand, ready to sow where I point you. Do not forget, I do not demand that you gather everything by your own hands. I walk with you through the preparation. When you ask, have I prepared everything and put it in the basket? Remember that I am your companion, and often I am the one who helps you collect. There are times you must rest, and I will carry what you cannot carry. There are times you are weary, and I will lift the heavy basket. The important thing is that you learn to work together with me. You use your hands, and I use mine. When you labor with me, the basket of your life is built on rock, not on the thin sand of the world. Right now, open your hands and begin to arrange. Let me illuminate your choices. Let me speak about each seed you should keep. When you finish, bind the basket with faith and move forward. Your steps are not alone. I walk with you, lift the basket when needed, and bless every seed you sow. You have prepared, and if anything is missing, do not worry. Return to me, and I will help you place what is needed into the basket. Remember, your basket is not only to hold for yourself, but to share with others. The seeds you keep will be a blessing for the community, for those who are hungry and parched. When you give, I multiply. Continue to gather, arrange, release, and walk in my peace. My beloved child, you have taken the first steps of the journey, heeding the invitation, guarding peace, arranging the basket of life, and now I want to lead you into a deeper ground, a place where your heart is healed and empowered to live truly. This section, Part 1.3, is not a dry reminder, but an invitation to enter the depth of restoration, to learn to live from the source rather than for the source. Let each word touch your heart as an anchor. If you are weary, lean on it. If you doubt, let this word reassure you. First, understand that restoration is not an instant event, but a process. Some expect healing overnight. Some think a great prayer will wipe every wound clean. I do not deny the power of prayer, but I want you to recognize that deep healing often comes by small daily acts. It is like mending a beloved garment. Sometimes I draw the thread through the fabric once, then pause, then again I pull another stitch. Each small stitch builds enduring strength. Therefore, do not be discouraged if today you do not see a grand result. Each time you choose me over fear, each time you relinquish more control, each time you forgive a little, these are stitches of restoration. Child, to be healed, you must allow truth to shine into the dark corners. Truth is not always gentle. Sometimes it is a small ray cutting through a crack that reveals the fissures you usually conceal. But in those places of truth I work with grace's dye. I do not condemn you for your failures. Rather, I use truth to bring you back to your original self, the unspoiled self, not stained by prejudice or burdened by roles the world has forced upon you. Be courageous to look straight. Admit where you have erred. Admit where you have been hurt. Even admit the times you were the cause of another's hurt. When you accept the truth without covering it, you open the door for me to patch. Thus, confession is the threshold where restoration begins. But you must also learn to be gentle with yourself in this process. Too often you believe you must become perfect before you are worthy of healing. This is a dangerous misconception. I say I do not wait for you to reach any measure before I grant grace. Rather, I come to you in the mess while you have not yet sorted everything out. Lay aside self-condemnation. It is not the cure, and often it only slows you down. Instead, treat yourself with the same kindness you would give your dearest friend. As you practice this, you move out of the vicious cycle of self-blame into the circle of restoration, where I can infuse grace and bring about deep transformation. I want to teach you the importance of community in the healing journey. Though God is the source of restoration, you are not given a solitary path. You are made to live in connection. Sometimes what you need is a hand to hold an interceding prayer, a non-judgmental look. Do not let pride or shame keep you from the community. Seek those who carry peace, who listen more than they judge, who can walk with you through hard days. When you share wounds in a context of grace, I give many healing medicines, empathy, encouragement, and strength to rise again. Community is not to impose, it is the place where I give you belonging. Another important thing, you must learn to recognize old patterns. There are scars you assumed were healed, but which still exert a hidden influence, causing you to repeat self-harmful choices. I invite you to examine carefully your behaviors, thoughts, and automatic reactions. When hurt, do you withdraw or strike out? When criticized, do you launch into self-condemnation or fall silent? Those patterns are like the roots of a tree. If you do not uproot them, the tree will grow again. But I do not judge you for these patterns. I invite you into the work of digging to identify, to pray, and to replace them with new habits nurtured in truth. This process takes time, but I will lead you step by step. Restoration is always tied to the re-establishment of trust in me, in yourself, and in others, where appropriate. You may have been betrayed, hurt by someone you trusted. The breaking of that trust is understandable. But I say, do not let one tear close off your whole heart. Allow me to heal it then. Slowly learn to trust again, not foolishly, but with wisdom proven by experience. New trust does not always come quickly. It grows as you observe my footprints in small, ordinary acts of life. As trust is rebuilt, you will find yourself able to love and entrust without the fear of total destruction. I also invite you to train through practical spiritual disciplines, disciplined prayer, reading, truth, worship, and service. These practices are not magical formulas. They are the path by which you shape your inner life, so my voice is clearer than the noise. As you persist in these practices, you build a foundation upon which every restoration can stand firm. Remember, small, consistent practices produce great, long-lasting change. As you walk the road of recovery, you will face trials, a temptation to return to old habits, an emotion flaring up, or circumstances that test your faith. Do not fear these trials. They are tests that harden your faith. I say, through trials you learn you are stronger when you stand in me. Through challenges you discover what truly belongs to you and what is passing. Welcome the test with a posture of learning rather than flight. Each time you overcome, you grow and your restoration becomes more resilient. Beloved child, I want to remind you of the greater purpose of every restoration, to become an instrument of healing for others. I do not mend you merely so you can live safely. I mend you so that you may guide those who have lost their way. The very wounds you once carried are the open doors through which you may enter the hearts of others in pain. When you share your story of renewal with humility and compassion, I multiply the work of healing. Therefore, when you are restored in one part of your life, be ready to extend your hand to another. That is how blessing is multiplied and the crown of grace is spread wide. My child, rest now in this promise. I walk with you through every step of recovery. I do not regard time as an enemy. I use time to refine you, to dye your life with the hues of grace. Be patient with the process, recognize each small step forward, and give thanks for every fragment I weave into a story of hope. Guard your heart with peace, tend the basket of your days carefully, and walk on with the assurance that the God of restoration is working far greater things than you can imagine. You will stand firm not by your own strength, but because I uphold you. Let these words rest within you as a vow: you are not alone. I am the healer, the source of restoration. Rest in this truth and rise tomorrow to continue walking with new hope. My beloved, as you step into a new season, I want you to listen deeply and open your heart to what I am about to declare. This portion is guidance, a doorway into deeper understanding of your spiritual journey. Nothing you have endured has been wasted, and not a single tear you shed has been forgotten. Now I bring you into a higher place of wisdom and faith to recognize that every trial, every hard road is part of the eternal plan. This section will be long, deep, and rich, like a living sermon, like a great canvas, in which every brushstroke holds meaning. Receive it and treasure it as a gift of heaven. Life is not only made of gentle mornings with birdsong or peaceful afternoons beneath the setting sun. Your spiritual journey has seasons that feel like harsh winters when trees are bare, soil is hardened, and winds cut like ice. At times you thought I had departed, that your prayers went unanswered, that your labor bore only emptiness. Yet it is precisely in those winters that I plant seeds, deeper still, seeds your eyes cannot see. Just as roots sink down when the cold lingers, your faith is rooting deeper when you feel forsaken. You are not invisible to me. You are not a grain of sand adrift without meaning. You are a wondrous work fashioned by my hand, and every step you take is woven into the symphony I composed from eternity. Remember the stories in Scripture. Joseph was sold as a slave, imprisoned by injustice, yet that very journey brought him to Egypt's throne, where he preserved many lives. Moses wandered 40 years in the wilderness, seeming wasted, yet it was the school of humility and patience, preparing him to lead my people out of bondage. David was hunted like a fugitive, hiding in caves, yet those years forged him into a king after my heart. Do you see? No trial is wasted. Every hardship you bear today is being transformed by me into a stepping stone that lifts you higher. Beloved, yet the truth is that there are moments when you do not clearly see this. When fear envelops you, when the door you knock on will not open, when your prayers seem to fall into silence, your heart feels parched. In those moments, the enemy plants lies in your ear that I have forgotten you, that you are not good enough, that hope is only an illusion. But I declare none of those voices come from me. My voice never speaks a sentence of hopeless condemnation. My voice is the voice of the Father, the Maker of you, always calling you back into peace. When you hear echoes that discourage you, remember, the enemy can only deceive. He cannot steal the grace I give. You must learn to discern which are promises and which are lies. Trials are not meant to destroy you, but to reveal you. Just as gold is refined by fire until it is pure, your faith must pass through trial to shine. I do not send trials to exhaust you. I send them so you may discover my strength within your weakness. You imagine you have hit bottom, yet it is precisely in that depth you will find the foundation of my faithfulness. You think you have lost everything, but in that place of emptiness, you will learn that real provision does not lie in things but in my presence. Believe this, when every door seems closed, I do not abandon you in the dark. I am opening another door, but I want you to be still enough to notice it. Dear one, let trials be your teacher. Do not only ask, why did this happen, but ask, what do I need to learn from this? When you change the question, your mind changes perspective. You will see the trial no longer as a burden, but as a lesson, no longer as punishment, but as pruning. As the vine is pruned to bear more fruit next season, your soul is cut away from what is excessive so that you may produce righteous fruit. I know pruning hurts, but without it the tree will wither from its own superfluous branches. Likewise, if you do not let go of the old, you cannot receive the new. On this journey you need a lamp to guide you. That lamp is my word. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Psalm 119:105. Hide the word in your heart, like a farmer keeps seed in his garment, ready to sow whenever needed. When you walk through darkness, that word will illuminate one step. You will not see the whole road, but you will have enough light to take another step. And step by step you will recognize that I walk with you, lifting you over the rough places. Do not forget that waiting is also part of the path. I know you dislike waiting. You want things quickly. You want immediate answers to prayer. But waiting is the school where faith is forged. In waiting you learn to trust me, not the outcome. In waiting you learn to enjoy my presence itself, rather than only longing for the gift from my hand. Do not view waiting as delay. View it as a sacred classroom. In that classroom I teach you that blessing is not only at the destination, but in every step along the way. Beloved, remember, you do not walk alone. I have given the Holy Spirit as the comforter, as the guide, as the flame within. When you feel trembling, remember that the Spirit is power, the cool stream in the desert, the fresh breath when you thought you were spent. Do not try to live by your own strength. Allow the Holy Spirit to work, and you will find you have strength to overcome what once seemed impossible. I declare this, so you will engrave it on your heart. Every trial has its season, but the fruit it yields is eternal. Today's pain may be heavy, yet it will become tomorrow's testimony. Today's tears may be many, but they will be fashioned into shining gems in an eternal crown. Do not give up midway, for every step you take matters. When you are weak, I am strong. When you are bowed, I lift. When you fall, I uphold. No failure is the final word so long as you return to me. Therefore, when you ask, have I prepared enough? Have I put enough into my basket? I answer, include even the trials. Do not place only the beautiful things there. Put in the broken pieces as well, for I will turn all into blessing. Bring your fears, your shattered dreams, your wounded fragments, and I will transform them. Your basket will not only be filled with fruit, but also with evidence of miracles. From ashes I make beauty. From tears I create cool streams. From burdens I birth wings. Rest in this, I am the one who begins and completes your faith. I do not abandon the work I have begun. You are in process, not perfect, but being perfected. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep offering. I will make all things new. My beloved, never forget. My presence never leaves you. Often you look around and see only emptiness. Often you lift your eyes and think the heavens are silent, yet the truth is, I have never left you, not even for a moment. I am present where you breathe, in every heartbeat, in every tear, and in every passing laugh. If you open your heart, you will sense me nearer than anyone else could ever be. I know sometimes you feel you walk alone on a long road, darkness all around with no companion. Yet precisely then I walk beside you. You have simply not perceived it. Like a father who walks quietly behind a toddler, taking first steps, I follow every step you take. When you stumble, I reach out to lift you. When you fall, I sit by your side, brush the dust from your clothes, and help you stand. I do not reproach your weakness. I patiently guide, for I know each fall teaches you another lesson in resilience. Child, my presence is not limited by your feelings. Your emotions may change from day to day, sometimes brilliant as the sun, sometimes overcast, but the truth does not change. I remain. Do not mistake inner silence for my absence. Sometimes in silence I teach you to discern my voice from the noise. If I always spoke loudly, you would never learn to listen. But in my quiet, you learn sensitivity. You learn to seek me with your whole heart, and through that journey your faith becomes steadfast. Beloved, remember, you do not walk alone. I spoke to Joshua. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go, Joshua 1:9. That promise is not only for a leader in Scripture, but for you today. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I am with you. When you work, I am there. When you rest, I am there. When you stray, I am still there. There is no place you can go beyond my reach. Practice noticing my presence in the small, ordinary things. When morning sunlight slips through a crack in the shutter, it is a reminder that my grace is renewed every dawn. When you hear a bird sing, it is a sign of the life I sustain around you. When someone offers you a smile, that too is one of the ways I send encouragement. Do not think I appear only in great miracles. I am present in every moment if you are attentive. A soul that learns to observe will find me everywhere, and in that discovery you will be less fearful and less lonely. Child, my presence does more than comfort, it transforms. When you draw near to me, you cannot remain unchanged. I am refining fire that burns away selfishness, pride, and what binds you. I am living water that cleanses spiritual dust and renews your soul. I am a wind that blows off the heaviness and brings a new breath. Do not fear this change, for I do not make you into someone else. I restore you to the true being I formed at the beginning, pure, free, and radiant. Pause amid life's hectic pace to become aware of my presence. The world urges you to run faster, to accomplish more, to prove yourself. But I say, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. In stillness you will see my face more clearly. In stillness you will hear my whisper. You do not need noise or elaborate rituals. A humble heart and an open hand are enough for me to dwell. Child, my presence is where you find true rest. How many times have you grown weary, chasing human approval, exhausted by burdens that were never yours to carry? I say to you, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 1:1-8. Resting in me is not shirking responsibility, but placing the weight of life on my shoulders. When you let me bear it, you will be lightened. When you learn to lean, you will be free. My presence also commissions you. I do not keep you to make you comfortable. I nurture you in my nearness, so you become a river, not a stagnant pool. The peace you receive from me must flow outward. The love you receive from me must be given away. When you live in my presence, others will notice the difference. They will ask, why are you not shaken in the storm? And your answer will be, because I know the one who holds me. That witness is more powerful than any sermon. My presence is not only for crises, but for ordinary days. I want you to walk with me in joy, in success, and in daily simplicity. When my presence becomes your daily breath, you will not be tossed by external changes. The world shifts, people come and go, seasons turn, yet you will stand firm because you are rooted in me. Beloved, let me be the breath that nourishes your soul. When you breathe in, remember that I grant life. When you breathe out, release every burden and entrust it to me. That simple practice will remind you that I am right here in every heartbeat. You do not need to strain to keep me near. I have promised and I keep word. You need only open your heart to sense and respond. Learn to return to my presence each day. Do not wait until you are exhausted to come back. Return at dawn when your spirit is fresh and full of strength. Give me the first portion and I will bless the rest. Let my presence shelter you, renew you, and guide you. From that place you will become a witness not by many words but by a life that radiates peace, love, and light. You have heard me speak of trials and of my unfailing presence. Now I want you to enter a deeper realm where transformation occurs. Transformation is not a vague idea or a distant illusion. It is a real inward process quietly unfolding within your spirit. It does not come from personal striving or outward ornamentation, but from the very roots of the heart. I do not want you to merely polish a few habits to look better. I want you to make a new creation. I want you to recognize that I have destined you for a life not bound by old memories, regrets, or shame. When I touch you, the old thoughts you are not enough, you were abandoned, you will never change, are uprooted. I plant a new identity in their place. You are beloved, redeemed, and fashioned to shine. And as the inside of you is changed, the outside will reflect that light. Transformation is a journey more than an instant. I do not promise to renew you in a single night, but I promise to work patiently day by day. Just as gold must pass through fire to be refined, you too must pass through trials that remove dross. Do not fear the heat of the fire, for it does not consume you, but purifies you. Like clay in the potter's hands, you are shaped by me. Sometimes I turn the wheel quickly, sometimes I press firmly, sometimes I let you rest quietly on the wheel. Yet every motion has a purpose to make a vessel that can hold my light. If you stop, the vessel will not be completed, but if you patiently remain in my hands, you will become a precious instrument. Do not despise the pain, for pain is the sign that change is taking place. Your tears are not wasted. They water new seeds that will one day bear lasting fruit. The transformation I give leads to true freedom. Freedom is not giving in to every desire, but being no longer enslaved by invisible chains. For too long you have been bound by judgments, past memories, and lingering fears. But I say, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Freedom means you can smile even when others do not affirm you. Freedom means you can forgive because you know my grace is greater than every offense. Freedom means you walk without the bent posture of shame because you have been redeemed. This is the life I desire for you, and this transformation is not only for your benefit but that you might bear witness. When others see you who once stumbled, now standing firm, who once feared, now at peace, who once despaired, now full of hope, they will know that God is at work. You will not need many words. Your life will itself be a sermon. Do not think small changes are insignificant. Every quicker forgiveness, every deeper love, every act of greater patience is evidence. I will use these small tokens to touch many hearts. My child, true transformation is not a passing burst of inspiration, but a long work carried out by the Holy Spirit. If you rely only on your own resolve, you will quickly grow weary. But if you lean on the Holy Spirit, He will renew your mind day by day. You will gradually think differently, feel differently, and act differently. Do not be discouraged that you are not yet perfect. Rejoice that I am at work. I am the one who begins and the one who completes. The work I have begun with you, I will not abandon. As it is written, I am confident that the one who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ. Believe that you are being transformed step by step each day, drawing nearer to the image I have ordained. Be patient with yourself and steadfast in seeking me. I will make all things new. and you will walk no longer as your old self, but as a new one, radiant in the light I give. My beloved, be still, and let your spirit listen, as a leaf listens to the first rain. There are things I am about to speak to you, not merely to comfort, but to deepen and to reposition you in your true identity. You have passed through different seasons, a season of trial, a season of waiting, a season of restoration. Now I invite you into a season of inner training, a place where you learn to live not by fleeting feelings, but by a sustained relationship with me. Open your hands, breathe deeply, and let me ordain each step you take. First, understand that spiritual life is not a string of ecstatic moments, but a day-by-day process of instruction. There will be times when you feel upon a mountaintop overflowing with joy. There will be times when you wander in a quiet valley. Both are necessary. Do not flee the ordinary days. It is there that I build patience and faithfulness in you. When you rise each morning and choose to turn your heart toward me even for a few minutes, you are sowing unseen seeds, and one day you will reap a great harvest. Focus on frequency rather than intensity. Small, consistent practices will change you more than occasional grand efforts. My child, I want you to guard your mind as one who watches over a treasure. The thoughts you nurture have the power to shape your destiny. If you allow fear, comparison, and bitterness to seep in, they will take root and govern your actions. On the other hand, when you choose thoughts that are uplifting, that are true, and filled with gratitude, they will lead you into actions of the same kind. Therefore, I do not only invite you to pray when hardship arises. I invite you to train your heart daily to read words of truth, to recall my promises, and to show gentle compassion to yourself in moments of weakness. Let my word be the measure for every thought, and learn to bring every idea into the light of truth to discern whether it is worth keeping. You must learn the art of letting go, but letting go with wisdom. To let go does not mean to ignore responsibility. It is the recognition of your limits and the surrender of burdens into my hands. Many things you cling to seem necessary, yet in reality they are only habits and fears of loss. Learn to discern, hold on to what brings life, release what leads only to sorrow. I want you to practice this each day through simple acts. Each morning, place before me one concern. Each evening, write down one thing for which you are thankful. Whenever fear rises, set it before me with a brief prayer. I hand this to you. These small acts will train your heart to yield according to the rhythm of grace. In this work of guarding, do not forget the value of silence. The world praises noise, but I honor the whisper. Set aside moments of stillness for me, not to escape from life, but to receive anew the source of spiritual strength. In silence, you will hear the subtler call and discern the path you should walk. Train yourself to mark a few minutes each day, turn off every distraction, and let your heart converse with me. Over time, you will find yourself less reactive to storms, and that will be the mark of spiritual maturity. You must also learn forgiveness, beginning with yourself. Many think forgiveness is only for those who have harmed them, yet the deepest wound often lies in the inability to forgive oneself. You hold on to mistakes like an old key, locking yourself in a prison of your own making. I invite you to use the key of grace to open the door to acknowledge your fault, repent, offer it up, and then walk forward. Forgiving yourself does not mean neglecting the duty of making amends if needed, but it does mean ceasing to torment yourself so that your strength is not wasted. Once you have forgiven yourself, you will be able to forgive others, and in that forgiveness I will heal you more deeply than any compassion ever could. I also teach you gratitude as a spiritual strategy. Gratitude turns little into enough. It quiets complaints and awakens the song. When you are grateful for what is small, your perspective is changed. Instead of seeing what is lacking, you perceive my hand in all things. Make it your habit to write down 3 things you are grateful for each day. A small act, yet powerful for it. reshapes the very substance of your thoughts. A grateful heart is a net that keeps peace from slipping away, so you will not fall into the pit of discontent. My child, you must practice empathy as an intentional act. Empathy does not come automatically. It is forged through listening. When you meet another, set the aim not to prove yourself right, but to understand that person. Let your ears hear more than your mouth speaks. In absolute listening, I do the work of healing both you and the other. You will find your heart growing tender, and I will use that tender heart to touch a hard world. Do not forget to care for the body as part of spiritual life. The body is the dwelling place of the Holy Spirit. If you neglect it, your spiritual life will run dry. Sleep well, eat wholesome food, move your body, and take genuine rest. Caring for the body is not selfish. It is gratitude for a given gift. When the body is tended, the spirit has a firm foundation on which to grow. When the body is depleted, the spirit is easily shaken. Regard self-care as a holy duty. You must nurture communal life. I made you to be part of a larger body. No one should walk alone forever. Seek out kindred souls who share the journey, those who know the duty of listening and the art of encouragement, people willing to speak truth in love. Community is where you learn humility, where you are held in trials, and where you share blessings and burdens. Do not avoid relational difficulty. I use the community to correct, encourage, and train you. I want you to learn to live with purpose. Purpose is not always great deeds. It often appears in small daily acts, a timely word, a serving gesture, a sincere apology. Ask yourself, what will I do today to reflect on my love? When you live on purpose, each day is meaningful, and you will not fall into bewilderment or helpless fatigue. You must keep hope as your guiding lamp. Hope is not illusion. It is trust in my word. In the darkest moments, remember what I have said. I am with you. I have not forgotten you. I will make all things new. Keep that promise in your heart and let it lead you on. When despair comes, remind yourself of the times I have been faithful. The memory of past grace will strengthen your faith for the days ahead. My child, I do not demand perfection from you. I demand faithfulness. Practice these principles each day, and I will do the rest within your heart. Do not hurry. The process truly requires time. Walk with gentleness in your heart, patience in your step, and hope in your prayer. I am with you today, tomorrow, and to all ages. My child, sit down and open your heart wide, for now I would speak to you of a deeper reality, the reality of trust. You may already know that I am the one who loves, the one who is always present, the one who leads you through every path. But now I want you to go beyond knowing with your mind and to step into surrender with your whole heart. Trust is not merely words of prayer nor a thought that flashes in a moment of trouble. Trust is a way of life, a breath, a lifelong yielding of yourself into my hands. You often ask, how can I trust fully when everything around me is uncertain, when doors close, when the future is dim? I know, for I have heard those questions in the silence of your heart. Yet remember, trust is not that you know all the answers. Trust is that you hold my hand even when you cannot see the road. Like a child crossing a busy street, the child need not understand traffic laws or study a map. The child needs the firm hand of the Father. Likewise, you need not know everything. You only need to let me hold your hand. Trust begins when you learn to relinquish control. I know you like plans, calculations, the feeling of security that comes from holding the reins. But child, your control is fragile. A small event can topple all your designs. By contrast, when you let me be in control, you enter a land safer than any you could plan for. It is my eternal purpose. Recall the words in Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3, 5, 6. You may not comprehend it all, but I comprehend. You may not see far, but I see everything. You may be weak, but I am infinitely strong. My child, trust is the courage to wait. The world teaches haste, be quick, achieve, seize now. But my kingdom runs by another rule. In waiting, I refine your soul. Waiting is not a waste. Waiting is training. Like a seed beneath the soil, it must endure darkness, time, and damp before it can break forth as a sprout. If the seed is hurried, it will lack vitality. Likewise, if you flee prematurely from waiting, you forfeit the process that strengthens the root. You have asked me many times, why have you not answered? I answer, I am answering. By deepening your roots. A swift reply may soothe you for a moment, but a season of waiting will make you steadfast for life. My child, I want you to step out of the anxiety and into the embrace of trust. Begin today by handing me what worries you most. Say, I cannot, but you can. Then let me prove that I can. I will not disappoint you, for I am faithful. Believe me even when you do not understand. Believe me even when you do not see. Believe me because I have never broken my promise. And when you trust, you will witness a miracle, your soul freed, your path made clear, and your life becoming a testimony to my love. My child, let my words spread over you like a river that never ceases, that your heart may be immersed in every rhythm, every reminder, every assurance that you are not lost. Remember, walking with me is not a straight, simple road, nor is it a path strewn only with roses. It is like a river winding through mountains, sometimes gentle, sometimes raging, sometimes rushing, sometimes still. Yet however it flows, the water runs to the sea. So it is with your life. Sometimes you will feel exhilarated, sometimes exhausted. What matters is not the state, but the direction. If you keep turning your heart toward me, then, though the river winds, it still moves toward its goal. And I am your sea, vast, boundless, never emptying. I know you have often reproached yourself. Why am I not faithful enough? Why do I fall and then rise, and then fall again? Beloved, I do not see you merely by your failures. I see you by your journey. Each return to me is a victory. Each time you lift your face from the dust, it proves that my love is stronger than sin. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you to lead you into perfection in me. Do not let the voice of accusation make you think that a fall is the end. A fall is only a chapter, not the whole book. And I am the author. I know how to rewrite the ending according to my good purpose. Hear this, child, learn to be faithful in small steps. Do not suppose faithfulness is measured only by great achievements or grand works. Faithfulness is when you offer a simple prayer, even when your heart is empty. Faithfulness is choosing kindness instead of bitterness when no one is watching. Faithfulness is rising each morning to work, despite weariness, to provide for your family. Faithfulness is enduring an unpleasant person without answering in violence. All these things in my sight are a sweet aroma before the throne. And I, as Father, treasure those quiet acts far more than you imagine. Beloved, learn the art of patience. Patience is not sitting idle or being passive. Patience is trusting that I am at work even when your eyes see nothing. Like the farmer who sows seed and then waits for rain, sunlight, and time before harvest, he does not dig up the seed each day to see if it has sprouted. He trusts the process. Likewise, you need not fret over whether your prayer has been answered. You need only trust that I have heard and that I am working. Let me decide the seasons, for I know when the seed within you is strong enough to rise. My child, do not fear cloudy days. Darkness does not mean the dawn will not come. Indeed, the brighter the dawn, the deeper the night has been. It is in the dark that your eyes grow accustomed to the smallest light. When you lose your way, remember that I remain the guiding star. You need not see the whole map. You only need to see one bright point that is enough to take the next step, and that point of light I will always give. Practice looking small, not tomorrow, not next month, but at the step right before you. If you walk step by step with me one day, you will look back in surprise and find that you have gone far. I waste nothing in your life. Every failure, every wound, every wandering can become material for my grace. Like the artisan who gathers broken shards to assemble a splendid mosaic, I use every fragment of your life to create a beautiful story. Others may see the cracks, but I see the light reflected through them. Do not be ashamed of what is past. Give them to me, and I will turn them into testimony for many. Keep a heart of gratitude. Gratitude is not only for when you receive what you expect, but even when you have nothing in hand. Gratitude is not pretending that all is well, but seeing that I am present amid difficulty. When you are grateful, you shut the door on bitterness and open wide the door to peace. When you are grateful, you are no longer haunted by what is lacking, and you are freed to see what you truly have. And what you have that is most precious is me, the one who never leaves you. Child, practice quick forgiveness. Unforgiveness is like a thorn lodged in the heart. The longer it remains, the more it becomes infected. Forgiving does not mean agreeing with the wrong. It means freeing yourself from the prison of bitterness. When you forgive, you open the door for me to heal. When you forgive, you enter freedom. Do not cling to revenge. It is not yours. It belongs to me. Simply hand it back to me, and I will deal with it in my righteous way. Do not forget to care for yourself. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Treat it with respect. Eat well, rest, move, not only for health, but for my glory. A well-tended body will sustain a steadfast spirit. When you neglect yourself, you are more prone to fall into weakness. But when you take care of yourself, you are strengthened to continue the journey. And do not forget, you do not walk alone. I have placed you in a larger body community. Do not withdraw from others out of fear of being hurt. I use community to refine you, to lift you up, and to make you a blessing to many. When you share, your burden lightens. When you raise others, you are strengthened. Remember that everyone needs one another, and I work through those connections. Keep the flame of hope burning in your heart. Hope is the lamp that guides you through the darkness. Hope reminds you that the present is not permanent. Hope binds you to my eternal promise. When you hold on to hope, you will not be swept away by the waves of life. And this hope is not a vague wish, but a certainty rooted in my word, that I have overcome the world, that I will make all things new, that I will complete the work I began with you. My child, keep walking. Do not stop midway. Do not grow weary when you see yourself slow. Do not be ashamed when you feel weak. I am walking with you, and I will not leave the work unfinished. Every small step, every faithful choice, every return is noted by me. And one day when you look back, you will see a whole journey blazing with grace. My beloved, I want to open before you a new picture, wider and deeper than anything you have ever seen. What I have spoken in the past 3 sections was like soil being tilled, softening your heart so the seed could take root. Now in this part, I desire to plant further seeds of understanding and revelation, so that your life may not only be a string of days endured, but a living canvas reflecting my glory. Listen slowly. You were not created merely to exist. I did not form you only to have you stumble through days as one bound by fate. I created you for a greater purpose, for a higher meaning. I placed within you the capacity to love, to create, to transform the very atmosphere around you. The world tries to distort this truth, filling your mind with the lie that your worth depends on status, achievement, or praise. But I declare that your worth was determined from the moment you were in your mother's womb. You do not need to prove yourself in order to be loved, for love was yours before you ever drew your first breath. You have thought, how can I matter in such a vast world? I am only a grain of sand in a boundless desert. But remember, a small seed can grow into a mighty tree, sheltering many. What makes the difference is not the size of the seed, but who sows it and the soil into which it falls. I am the sower, and I have sown you into the soil of an eternal plan. Therefore you are not invisible, not meaningless. Every breath you take is proof that I still have a purpose for you on this earth. Remember the times I preserved you from dangers you never even noticed. How often you walked through darkness unaware of the traps set by the enemy, and yet I shielded you. How often you stood at the edge of despair, and then a word of comfort, a helping hand, a glimmer of hope arrived just in time. This was not a chance. This was the imprint of my hand on your life. I have not only guarded your body, but also your soul, so that it would not be swallowed by despair. You are part of a story far greater than yourself, and that story is still being written day by day. I did not give you life merely to survive, but to live abundantly. Do you remember my word, I came that they may have life, and have it abundantly? John 10:10. Abundant life is not merely wealth or outward success, but inner wholeness, a heart at peace, a soul set free, a mind steadfast, and a spirit full of love. When you live in this abundance, you no longer cling to the recognition of men, because you know you are already acknowledged by your Father in heaven. My child, the abundance I speak of does not always mean ease. You will sometimes travel through hard stretches, yet even their abundance can overflow. Like a river running through a desert, the life I give surpasses circumstances. When others see only drought, you will find spring. When others give up, you will continue to hope. When others let bitterness govern them, you can still choose forgiveness. That is the difference of a life connected to me. I have placed within you not only a hunger to live, but a hunger to leave a mark. This is because I intend you to be a light in dark places. Not a blinding light for people's praise, but a gentle, steady light that guides the lost. When you forgive, you shine. When you choose love instead of hate, you shine. When you keep peace amid chaos, you shine. And that light, though small, is enough to break the power of darkness. Do not think your light must be perfect to be useful. Even a cracked lamp can give light. In fact, light often becomes more visible through the cracks. Likewise, you do not need to hide your wounds, your weaknesses, or your broken stories. When you offer them to me, they become openings through which my light can blaze forth. Others will look and see that if I can make beauty from your brokenness, I can do the same in their lives. I do not call you a failure. I call you redeemed, a warrior, a beloved child. Strength does not come from your always feeling brave, but from your daring to lean on me in weakness. It is precisely in weakness that my power is perfected. You may feel trembling, but in my sight you stand stronger than ever because you choose to cling to me rather than let go. My child, rise each day with the awareness that you live in a sacred story. Do each small task with faithfulness, for I am watching. Entrust each step to me, for I am guiding. Keep every breath in gratitude, for every breath is a gift. And as you do these things, you will find that you are not merely getting through the days, but living in the abundance I promised. My beloved child, I see your heart opening little by little like a window sash cracked, so wind and light can rush in. In this section, I want to tell you a truth, not merely to know, but to hold as treasure the divine identity I have placed within you. Too often you let the world label you weak, a failure, sinful, useless. But those labels do not come from me. Hear this clearly: I call you by your true name, by the identity I ordained from ages past, and nothing can change that. Remember that I knew you even before you were formed in your mother's womb. No detail of your life is accidental. Your height, your voice, your dreams, even your wounds and fears. I saw them beforehand and have chosen to use them for a greater purpose. When you look in the mirror and only see flaws, I see a work in progress. When you compare yourself to others, I remind you that you were made uniquely. No one is like you, and that uniqueness is not a defect, but a signature. Do not let the fleeting standards of the world make you forget this truth: you are a creature fashioned in my image. Your identity does not come from what you do, but from your relationship with me. The world tells you that worth is measured by achievements, by wealth, by praise. But I declare that your worth was determined by the blood of Christ. He died so that you might live, redeemed you from darkness, and called you righteous. No one can add to or take away from that worth. You do not need to scramble for approval nor fear rejection, for you have been received as a child. A child does not have to earn love. It is loved because it is a child. Likewise, you are loved because you belong to me. You often ask, "But why do I still feel weak, still feel not enough, my child?" That is because you are viewing yourself through the lens of mistakes and emotions. But I want you to look with the eyes of faith. When I look at you, I do not only see failures, I see potential. I do not only see a sinner, I see one who is redeemed. I do not only see weakness, I see an instrument of power. Like an uncut diamond, you may not yet sparkle, but in my eyes your value is not diminished. Beloved, your true identity is one who bears my image, a temple of the Holy Spirit, a citizen of the eternal kingdom. You were made to love, to create, to shine. You are called to be the salt of the earth, the light of the world. You were not placed here merely to pass through life. You were positioned to leave a mark, to witness that light is stronger than darkness, truth stronger than falsehood, love stronger than hatred. Do not belittle yourself, for I do not belittle you, my beloved child. This identity is also armor for the soul. When the enemy whispers that you are worthless, answer with the truth that you are chosen. When he repeats your mistakes, remember that I have erased them by the blood of Christ. When he sows fear, remind yourself that I have given you not a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power, love, and sound judgment. Identity is not merely to be known, but to fight. It is a weapon against falsehood, an anchor amid the storms. Do not seek identity through comparison. Each person has a distinct journey, and I use everyone into my plan in different ways. David is not Solomon, Joseph is not Moses, Paul is not John, yet all are important. If you try to become someone else, you will miss what I have ordained for you. Stand firm in your true self, and let me use you in the most uniquely effective way. Live with this courage. You do not need to pretend. You do not need to wear a mask to be loved. I know you to the depths. I know even what you hide, and I still love you. Nothing you do makes me love you less, and nothing you do makes me love you more. My love does not fluctuate with performance. It stands steady because of my nature. Therefore, live honestly, live freely. Identity is not only a privilege, but also a mission. When you know who you are, you will live differently. One who knows they are loved finds it easier to love others. One who knows they are forgiven finds it easier to forgive. One who knows their worth no longer needs to demean or inflate themselves by comparison. You will walk as children of the light, and that light will draw others to me. Let this word be etched in your heart. You are the child I have always longed for. I chose you, called you, and placed you in this age, in these circumstances for a reason. Not by mistake, not by chance. You are a vital note in my eternal song. And whatever the world calls you, always remember I call you my beloved child. My child, sit down in stillness, place your hand upon your heart, and listen to what I speak. This is an invitation for you to step beyond the limits of mere knowing into the place of practice, where the identity I have given you comes alive through your actions, your words, and the small daily decisions you make. I have entrusted you with a name, a nature, and a mission. Now, I desire that you learn how to bring those gifts into the world, neither hiding them nor boasting, neither shrinking back nor surrendering. Let me teach you how to live out that identity with truth and courage. Do not allow fear to cause you to withdraw into a shell. Often you fear rejection, fear that living authentically will cost you support, fear that bearing witness will draw criticism. But I say truth requires courage, and courage is born from the life I have placed within you. When you step out as your true self, you will draw sincere hearts. When you try to please everyone with a copy of yourself, you will lose yourself. Remember that I do not need you to become someone else. I need you to become the truest version of yourself, honed by grace and offered for the sake of others. Act with humility, not to conceal power, but so that that power may operate in peace. When you serve in humility, people see love rather than strategy. They see my hand more than your hand. Humility does not make you weak. Rather, it is the armor of those who serve for the long haul. Listen before you speak help without display, and let every work be done for my glory rather than for the rungs of fame. Even in leadership, when humility is your root, you lead not by domination but by service, and that is the kingdom way of leading. Guard your words. A gentle word can untie a tangled heart. A harsh word can close a door for a lifetime. I have placed within you the ability to make words live, to heal, to set free. Use your speech as an instrument to break chains. Speak encouragement. Speak truth. Speak forgiveness. Do not be quick to judge. Do not wield rhetoric to prove your cleverness. When you speak from a healed place, your words carry life and pave a way for those who are lost. Practice consistency. Identity is not tested only in great moments. It is formed in thousands of small decisions. You choose honesty once and then again and again. You look at the poor with the same dignity with which you look at the rich. You keep your promises even when no one is watching. Those small things accumulate into habit, and those habits reveal who you are. Do not expect miracles without first laying a foundation of faithfulness in little things. I often entrust great responsibilities to those who have been faithful in the small. You are called to love not merely by feeling but by concrete actions. Love may mean staying up late to care for a sick child, letting go of a stinging word, sitting quietly beside an elder, giving when you feel you have nothing left. Love is also saying, "I'm sorry," standing up for the one who has been demeaned, and showing gratitude for hidden sacrifices. I will give you strength to love when you give yourself fully, but you must begin with small decisions. Who will you prioritize today? How will you use your gifts? What will you set aside your time for? Those actions will shape your identity in the sight of others. Practice forgiveness as a continual strategy. Forgiveness is not a one-time gesture to be forgotten. It is a way of life. Some wounds will draw you back into suspicion, but if you exercise forgiveness, you will gradually be freed from chains. Forgiveness is also preservation for you. It frees space in your heart so that you may hold blessing. Learn to forgive quickly, as I forgive you, keeping no record, counting no faults, and you will find your identity untainted by the past. Devote your life to building others up. True identity does not shrink in on itself, but blooms when it bears fruit for others. Seek opportunities to empower others, to teach a young person to lift up the weak. When you give, I will increase. Do not fear that giving will impoverish you. In my kingdom, giving is multiplied back, yet that reward is not always measured in money, but in a life of significance, in deep relationships, in a peaceful soul. Keep your heart holy through prayerful, quiet living. There is no endurance apart from tending the source. You cannot give away what you do not possess. If you do not regularly recharge in me, you will quickly run dry. Set a rhythm, pray, listen, receive direction, then go and do. Let that spiritual habit be the fuel for all you do. When action ceases to be sheer effort and becomes overflow, you will know you are living out the identity given to you. Guard your life against the snares of comparison and pride. Comparison robs you of gratitude. Pride turns grace into a tool for self-exaltation. When you see another as superior, learn. When you see yourself as preferred, give thanks and resist the lure of empty fame. Remember that every gift is for service, not to crown the self. You grow when you choose to serve without tallying return. That is the sign of a transformed heart. Find a community to carry your life, not a community of hollow praise, but one that holds you accountable, that corrects, and that supports. Choose those who dare to speak truth in love, people able to walk with you through dark stretches. By placing yourself within that body, your identity is tested practically and sharpened by genuine connection. Do not isolate yourself inside an image. I use relationships to display love and to repair. Care for your body as part of the mission. A clear soul needs a healthy body. Sleep enough, eat wisely, move, so the mind remains sharp. This is not selfish. It is the preservation of the instrument I use to work. When you care for yourself, you not only live well for your own sake, but also gain the strength to be a blessing to others. My beloved child, failure is not the end. There will be times when you stumble, when you damage what you love, when you are betrayed. But I say rising again is what matters most. Learn the lesson, correct your course, and move forward with humility. Those who know how to rise will be the ones who leave the deepest mark, for they carry within them both the experience of wounds and the healing of my hand, a story that touches many hearts. See your life as a painting in progress. There are dark patches, incomplete lines, yet the whole canvas is moving toward a magnificent vision, for I am the artist. Do not judge hastily, live faithfully. Each day you add a stroke, each small choice adds color. In the day I choose, I will reveal that painting to the world, and people will understand that it is not you who created the glory, but I who have worked through you. Today you do one small thing with great love, tomorrow another. The identity I have given you is not merely a word in your heart, but action in your life. I am with you in every step, lifting you in every fall, and honoring your faithfulness. You are. My child, live accordingly, full of hope, full of courage, and full of love. My beloved child, listen deeply, and let everything around you settle like the evening sea becoming calm. I want to speak to you about a field that requires careful cultivation, your prayer life, and spiritual discipline. This is not about formal rituals nor a checklist to mark. It is the rhythm drawn from my source, the way you learn to walk in the light daily. When you learn to pray not as a list of requests, but as intimacy, everything within you changes anxieties to ease. The voice of judgment softens, and the priorities of your heart align with the rhythm of the kingdom. I know you grow weary before grand concepts. You desire a quick formula. You want to see immediate results. But I invite you into a path of disciplined grace, not a discipline of pressure, but a discipline that liberates. Begin at dawn, not to perform a holy task, but to place me at the starting point. 1 minute, 10 minutes, or half an hour to sit quietly, to breathe, to offer. These small moments repeated become the lifeblood nourishing your life. When you place the best part of your day in my hands first, you will discover that the rest is cared for by me, not perfect but purposeful. Prayer is not only asking, it is listening. I want you to become one who waits for the whisper rather than a constant speaker. At first you may hear nothing. That is normal. The ears of the soul must be trained like muscles. The more they are used to listen, the more sensitive they become. Practice stillness after speaking. Do not rush to follow with words. Sometimes I answer not with immediate events, but with a calm poured into your heart, with a small light on your path. Train your heart to recognize that voice, soft yet steadfast in guidance. You need to learn to pray with gratitude. Do not wait for everything to be perfect before giving thanks. Practice gratitude amidst the storms. Gratitude is the current that redirects all negativity. It diminishes the weight of worry and opens your heart to receive grace. Each evening list at least 3 things you are thankful for, not grand but simple. A meal that nourished, a comforting word, a moment of peace. Gradually, this habit shifts the standard by which you measure life, from lacking to enough to continue stepping forward. Practicing spiritual discipline also requires faithfulness in small things. Do not wait until you feel inspired to act. Act even when your heart is weary. There will be days when you do not want to, and precisely those days are golden opportunities to cultivate faithfulness. I seldom entrust great tasks to those who act only in moments of enthusiasm. I seek those who are faithful in small matters, for that is the mark of a genuine heart. When you come to me consistently, even for just a few minutes, I will teach you more deeply. And yesterday's small faithfulness will be used for today's greater purposes. You must also guard the environment of your soul. Just as you choose what to feed your body, you need to carefully select what enters your mind: books, music, conversations, programs you watch. If you allow fear, envy, or hatred to enter, your mind will nurture these seeds. Plant in your heart truth, praises, and meditations that strengthen faith. Set aside daily time to read my word, not merely to accumulate knowledge, but to let it shape your thoughts, correct your emotions, and guide your actions. When the word becomes your foundation, you will walk steadfastly, undisturbed by fleeting opinions. Let service become a tool for training. Do not separate your prayer life from practical acts of service. Prayer should lead you into the world, to love with your hands through action. When you give your life to others, your time, your talents, your presence, you learn lessons of humility that prayer alone cannot provide if kept in isolation. Service is not a burden, it is a bridge from inner experience to outward influence. The more humbly you serve, the more you will find yourself filled. Do not forget the importance of disciplined rest. Many mistake discipline for constant effort, but the Holy Spirit does not operate in exhaustion. Intentional rest, pausing, recharging, appreciating is part of discipline. Allow your body adequate sleep, your mind ease, your intellect quiet. When you nurture holistic health, you not only endure, but also gain the ability to reflect my love to others. A weary person cannot sustain life for others. Therefore, do not see rest as a luxury. It is a sacred responsibility. You need to learn the art of patience in a practical way. Patience does not mean passivity. It is active patience, acting at the right time, remaining silent when necessary, waiting when appropriate. I teach you to distinguish between fleeing and waiting rightly. Right waiting is waiting. While still preparing you, sow you water, but you do not force the plant to grow by digging it up to check. In your life, some promises need time to sprout. Guard your heart with steadfast hope, not with restless anxiety. Do not let disappointment make you falter. You may have prayed for a long time without seeing results. You may have been frustrated when promises did not come as expected. But I declare that I do not forget the work you do in my name. All faithful efforts are remembered. When you feel on the verge of giving up, recall the times I have been faithful before. Memories of past grace are fuel for today's faith. Use them to keep moving forward. You must maintain connection with the community of faith. Personal prayer is essential, but you should not isolate yourself. Sometimes I grant grace right in the midst of the community, an encouraging word, a hug, an intercessory prayer. Seek those who help you stand firm, those who dare to speak truth in love. Community is where practical spiritual discipline is honed, where you learn forgiveness, giving, and receiving. Do not seek to dominate. Allow the greater body to use you as an instrument of healing. I want you to understand that spiritual discipline is a lifelong journey, not a destination to boast about. There are seasons of progress and seasons of retreat. Both are used by me. Be faithful, patient, and humble. Begin each day with the words, "I dedicate this day to you," and end it with gratitude. By keeping this rhythm, you will see your life transform into a song of celebration, not perfect, but beautiful in my hands. And I will use that song to touch the hearts of those who need to hear. Rest in this truth. I am with you in every step of discipline, every quiet moment, every prayer, and every act of love. Continue faithfully and sincerely, because I am writing a story through your life. My beloved child, now I want to open another door in your journey where you learn to see your life not merely as a series of days, but as a covenant, a story written by my hand from the very beginning. You often feel lost at crossroads, asking yourself, am I going the right way? Does what I do have meaning? What will the future hold? I see these anxieties as clouds obscuring your vision, and I come to disperse them with true light. From the moment you were formed by me, a sacred calling was etched into the very core of your soul. That calling does not fade with time, cannot be buried by failure, and cannot be taken by the enemy. It remains echoing, waiting for you to recognize it and live it fully. My beloved child, I want you to understand that your destiny is not the product of chance nor determined by the world around you. It does not depend on criticism or the judging eyes of others. It is founded on my eternal will, which is good, beautiful, and perfect. When I called Abraham out of his homeland, he did not know the destination yet. He trusted the one who called. When I summoned Moses, he saw only his weakness, but I saw a leader who would guide a nation across the sea. When I chose David, he was still a humble shepherd boy, yet in my eyes he was already a king. Likewise, I see what you have not yet seen. I call forth what does not yet exist, as though it already is. Do not let failure cause you to shrink back from your destiny. You may stumble, choose wrongly, or hurt others, but I declare to you that no mistake is greater than my grace. Even when you take a detour, I can transform that path into part of your journey, turning tears into seeds, wounds into testimony. Remember Joseph, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten, yet every twist prepared him to stand before Pharaoh. In the same way, I do not waste a single detail in your life. If you entrust it to me, everything will be redeemed. Every broken piece will become part of a mosaic of beauty. My beloved child, to walk in your destiny, you must learn to discern my true call from false calls. The world is noisy, and the enemy will always sow deception opportunities that seem good but lead you astray, dreams that seem noble but bind you to the self. My voice does not create panic, it brings deep peace. My voice does not rush, it invites you to step steadily. My voice does not shame, it lifts you in love. Use peace as your compass. Where peace remains, there you will usually find the path I have opened. I know you often fear you are not strong enough, not talented enough, not wise enough to fulfill your destiny. But my child, I do not call the sufficient, I call the willing. It is in your weakness that my strength is perfected. When you tremble with each step, I will steady your feet. When you do not know what to say, I will place the words in your mouth. When a door seems too vast, I will open it with my mighty hand. Your task is not to be perfect first, but to trust and obey. My beloved child, learn to trust in my timing. Destiny is not always revealed immediately. Sometimes I keep you in a season of concealment, like a seed resting in dark soil. You may feel unknown, believing that nothing is happening. But in truth, I am working silently, letting roots grow deep, preparing the day of sprouting. If the seed emerges too early, it will wither for lack of roots. Likewise, I keep you in stillness to cultivate depth, so that when you rise, you will be firm, unshaken by storms. Be patient, my child, for my timing is perfect. Remember, this destiny is not just for your own blessing, but for you to become a blessing to many. Abraham was called not merely to receive a promise, but through him, nations would be blessed. So it is with you. I give you talents, experiences, and stories not to hoard, but to share. Your destiny is tied to the community, to the people I place along your path. As you walk in your calling, others will be lifted, encouraged, and healed. Do not narrow your vision to personal gain. See with the eyes of the kingdom. And my child, when you live fully in your destiny, you will face opposition. Darkness never stands idle when light arises. There will be those who doubt, mock, or even resist you. Challenges may appear insurmountable, but remember, I have overcome the world. If I am with you, who can stand against you? Weapons may be forged, but they will not prevail. Words spoken against you may echo, yet I will turn them to nothing. Stand firm, for you do not walk alone. Beloved, imprint this deeply in your heart. Destiny is not merely a final destination, but a daily journey of choosing me. Every time you forgive, you walk in destiny. Every act of help, you fulfill your calling. Every choice of integrity affirms your identity. Do not think of destiny as a single future event. It unfolds in each step today. If you are faithful in the present, the future will naturally reveal itself. Walk with freedom, my beloved child. Do not allow the chains of the past to hold you back. Do not let the fear of the future make you hesitate. Lift your head high, for I am the author of your story. Your future rests in my hands. No one can snatch it away. Every season of your life, sowing, waiting, harvesting, has a place in the grand plan. Rest in this truth. You do not write destiny alone. You only need to walk with me. Hear my words once more, my child. You are called, chosen, and sent. Not because you are perfect, but because I am perfect. Not because you are sufficient, but because my grace is enough for you. Not because you are deserving, but because my love has already ordained it. Step forward without fear, for the future is held in my hands. Live without hesitation, for destiny cannot be destroyed. And remember, I am with you today, tomorrow, and forever. My beloved child, open your heart like a field thirsting for morning dew, for what I am about to speak will be like cool water soaking into every dry layer of your soul. I want you to understand that the journey of destiny is not merely about walking forward, but about holding fast to faith amidst trials. Many times you may have thought that if I have called you, the path must be smooth, but I tell you that it is precisely the trials that become the school refining faith, the furnace that purifies the soul. Just as gold is refined by fire, you too will be tested through hardship, so that falsehood is burned away, leaving only the pure. Look at the witnesses in the scriptures. Joseph, betrayed by his brothers; Moses, fleeing; David, pursued; Paul, imprisoned. Yet it was in those dark seasons that I taught them to trust, not in their own strength, but in me. When Joseph was imprisoned, I prepared him to rule. When Moses tended sheep in the wilderness, I trained him to lead. When David was hunted, I taught him to take refuge in me. And when Paul was confined, the gospel spread more powerfully than ever. Likewise, I do not let you face trials to destroy you, but to build you. Beloved child, when storms arise, your heart may tremble. You may ask, Lord, are you here? Why have my prayers not been answered, my child? My silence does not mean my absence. Just as a teacher may be quiet while watching a student take a test, I am still there, observing, supporting, waiting for you to walk the full path. Trials are not signs of my withdrawal. They are opportunities for you to demonstrate faith. Do not let silence make you doubt my love. Let it deepen your roots. Learn to see trials through my eyes. The world sees suffering as failure, but I see suffering as a springboard. Every tear you shed is not wasted. It becomes a seed for future joy. Every loss is not the end, but a space for me to fill with something new. Just as a grain must die to produce a plentiful harvest, you will discover that what seems like loss is often the opening for a great season of fruitfulness. Beloved, faith is not measured by emotion, but by perseverance. Sometimes it may feel like a burning flame, and sometimes only like smoldering embers. Faith is not a fire that always blazes. It is the quiet coals that never go out even through the longest nights. Nurture your faith with my word, with prayer, with community. Remember, faith is like a mustard seed, small yet capable of moving mountains. Do not despise even a tiny measure of faith, for when you place it in my hands, I will make it grow. You must also learn patience in waiting. Waiting is not sitting idle in despair. It is waiting with hope in a posture of readiness. Like the farmer who sows seeds and patiently awaits the rain, you must trust that the harvest will come in its proper time. While you wait, I am working silently. You do not see the roots growing beneath the soil, yet they are. Do not be discouraged by slow results. Remain faithful, and you will witness the miraculous unfold at the appointed time. My child, trials also teach you to let go. Often you cling to what is not yours, a relationship, a dream, a plan. When I take it away, you may cry and resist. But I take not to make you lose, but to make you gain. Like a father removing a knife from a child's hand, I remove what is harmful so you can receive greater blessings. Let go of what causes pain and open your hands to receive much more. Trust me, for I know what is truly good for you. My beloved child, in the midst of trials, keep your eyes fixed on me. If you only watch the waves, you will sink. But if you look to me, you will walk on water. Do not allow circumstances to dictate your perspective. Let me determine your vision. When you focus on me, you will find peace amid the storm, strength amid weakness, hope amid darkness. Just as Peter walked on the waves while keeping his eyes on me, yet sank when he looked at the wind and the waves, so too must you learn, keep your eyes on me, not on your circumstances. Do not forget, my child, that trials are where I reveal my closest presence. When you are weak, I am near to lift you. When your heart aches, I hold you. When you feel lonely, I whisper, you are not alone. It is precisely in the darkness that my light shines most clearly. In scarcity, you will know I am the provider. In suffering, you will experience a comfort beyond explanation. Do not reject trials, for within them lie treasures, deeper intimacy with me. Remember that the outcome is already secured. I have already won. Trials are merely the journey, not the destination. Do not let them make you forget my promises. I have declared I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Stand firm in this truth. When you feel exhausted and depleted, remind yourself that my grace is sufficient. When you feel you have nothing left, remember that I am everything. And as you persist, you will witness my glory unfold. Therefore, be courageous as you pass through trials. See them not as enemies, but as teachers. Allow them to refine you, to instruct you, to lift you. You will discover that you are stronger, deeper, and more complete. And above all, you will find yourself closer to me than ever before. This is the greatest treasure of every trial they draw you into. My heart, where you belong, where you find unshakable peace. My beloved child, now I wish to close this long journey with one final promise. All things will be made new. You have heard me speak of destiny, of trials, of faithfulness, in small things of my daily presence. Now embrace this truth as a precious jewel. Not a single tear, not a single wound, not a single failure in your life will be wasted. Everything will be gathered, renewed, and transformed into glory. As it is written, behold, I make all things new, Revelation 2:1-5. This is not only a promise for the end times, but a promise that begins now in every moment you walk with me. Many times you have felt your life was broken, too many mistakes, missed opportunities, youth gone. But I say to you, I am the Redeemer, the one who turns ashes into crowns, sorrow into joy, mourning into songs of praise. What the world sees as an ending, I see as a beginning. What seems like fragments to you, I see as light ready to shine forth. Do not be ashamed of your past. Surrender it to me. I will continue your story with the ink of grace, with strokes of mercy, and the final picture will astonish you. My beloved child, in the midst of trials, keep your eyes fixed on me. If you only watch the waves, you will sink. But if you look to me, you will walk on water. Do not allow circumstances to dictate your perspective. Let me determine your vision. When you focus on me, you will find peace amid the storm, strength amid weakness, hope amid darkness. Just as Peter walked on the waves while keeping his eyes on me, yet sank, when he looked at the wind and the waves, so too must you learn, keep your eyes on me, not on your circumstances. Do not forget, my child, that trials are where I reveal my closest presence. When you are weak, I am near to lift you. When your heart aches, I hold you. When you feel lonely, I whisper, you are not alone. It is precisely in the darkness that my light shines most clearly. In scarcity, you will know I am the provider. In suffering, you will experience a comfort beyond explanation. Do not reject trials, for within them lie treasures, deeper intimacy with me. Remember that the outcome is already secured. I have already won. Trials are merely the journey, not the destination. Do not let them make you forget my promises. I have declared, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Stand firm in this truth. When you feel exhausted and depleted, remind yourself that my grace is sufficient. When you feel you have nothing left, remember that I am everything, and as you persist, you will witness my glory unfold. Therefore, be courageous as you pass through trials. See them not as enemies, but as teachers. Allow them to refine you, to instruct you, to lift you. You will discover that you are stronger, deeper, and more complete. And above all, you will find yourself closer to me than ever before. This is the greatest treasure of every trial. They draw you into my heart, where you belong, where you find unshakable peace. My beloved child, now I wish to close this long journey with one final promise. All things will be made new. You have heard me speak of destiny, of trials, of faithfulness, in small things of my daily presence. Now embrace this truth as a precious jewel. Not a single tear, not a single wound, not a single failure in your life will be wasted. Everything will be gathered, renewed, and transformed into glory. As it is written, behold, I make all things new. Revelation 2:1-5. This is not only a promise for the end times, but a promise that begins now in every moment you walk with me. Many times you have felt your life was broken, too many mistakes, missed opportunities, youth gone. But I say to you, I am the Redeemer, the one who turns ashes into crowns, sorrow into joy, mourning into songs of praise. What the world sees as an ending, I see as a beginning. What seems like fragments to you, I see as light ready to shine forth. Do not be ashamed of your past. Surrender it to me. I will continue your story with the ink of grace, with strokes of mercy, and the final picture will astonish you. My beloved child, believe that you are not walking in circles, but on a journey forward. Even through winding paths and weary steps, every step leads you to one destination, becoming more like Christ. When you fall, I lift you. When you stray, I call you. When you grow weary, I support you. Every step, every season contributes to the making of a new person. Do not let delays discourage you. I am never late, nor am I hasty. My timing is always perfect. I know exactly when to sow, when to harvest, when to open doors, and when to close them. Your task is simply to trust and walk. Remember, renewal is not only some distant day, it is a daily process. Each morning as the sun rises, my mercy is made new. Each time you return in repentance, I wipe clean and grant a fresh start. Do not think grace has limits. It flows continuously like an unending river. You may have failed yesterday, but today you can begin again. And I will not remember your sins, for I have cast them into the depths, never to be recalled. Learn to live in hope. Hope is not a vague dream, but a firm trust that I keep my promises. Hope is like a lamp shining in the night, like an anchor holding your boat from drifting. When you hope, you view the future not with fear, but with trust. The world may be dark, but hope shines. I am your living hope. Let nothing steal it from you. Hold it as a treasure, for it will guide you through every long night. Let my peace guard your heart as you wait for full renewal. This peace does not come from the absence of difficulty, but from my presence. It is like a gentle whisper amid the howling wind, like an embrace in the cold night. When you keep my peace, you will not be swept away by worry. Peace gives you strength to forgive, patience to endure, and love to extend. Do not trade it for fleeting things. Protect it, for it is a treasure I give. Remember that you were created to shine. I did not call you to live hidden in fear, but to stand in the light. You are salt, you are light. When you walk in truth, you illuminate the path for others. When you remain steadfast in faith, you encourage the weak. When you love you, reveal me to the world. Do not hide your light. Let it shine even in a small home or humble workplace. I will multiply that light so many will see and glorify your Father in heaven. Know that I have never left you and I never will. Every step you take, I am with you. Every tear you shed, I hold. Every silent prayer I hear. Even when you feel alone, I am nearer than you imagine. Even when you turn away, I stand there patiently waiting for your return. My love is unconditional, unwavering, and eternal. It is a firm foundation, a steadfast shelter, an embrace that never lets go. So walk boldly, my child. Hold your head high, for you are redeemed, called, and loved. Be courageous, for I have overcome the world. Be persistent, for your reward is certain. Let not fear bind your feet, nor shame cage your heart, nor disappointment steal your song. You were made to praise, to love, to live boldly. You are not alone, not meaningless, not lost. You belong to me forever and ever. My beloved child, believe that you are not walking in circles, but moving forward on a purposeful journey. Even through winding paths and weary steps, every stride leads you to one destination, becoming more like Christ. When you fall, I lift you. When you stray, I call you back. When you grow weary, I uphold you. Every step, every season shapes the new person I am forming in you. Do not let delays discourage you. I am never late nor hasty. My timing is perfect. I know precisely when to sow, when to harvest, when to open doors, and when to close them. Your task is simple. Trust me and keep walking. Remember, renewal is not a distant day, it is a daily process. Each morning as the sun rises, my mercy is made new. Each time you return in repentance, I wipe you clean and grant a fresh beginning. Grace has no limits. It flows endlessly like a river. You may have failed yesterday, but today offers a new start. I will not recall your sins, for I have cast them into the depths, never to be remembered again. Learn to live in hope. Hope is not a vague dream. It is a steadfast trust in my promises. Hope is a lamp shining in the night, an anchor holding your boat secure. When you hope, you see the future through eyes of trust, not fear. Though the world may be dark, hope shines. I am your living hope. Let nothing steal it from you. Guard it as a treasure, for it will guide you through every long night. Let my peace guard your heart as you wait for full renewal. This peace does not come from the absence of difficulty, but from my presence. It is like a gentle whisper amid the howling wind, an embrace in the cold night. When you keep my peace, worry cannot sweep you away. Peace strengthens you to forgive, endure, and love. Do not trade it for fleeting things. Protect it, for it is a treasure I give. Remember, you were created to shine. I did not call you to live hidden in fear, but to stand in the light. You are salt, you are light. When you walk in truth, you illuminate the path for others. When you remain steadfast in faith, you encourage the weak. When you love you, reveal me to the world. Do not hide your light. Let it shine even in a small home or humble workplace. I will multiply that light so many will see and glorify your Father in heaven. Know this, I have never left you, and I never will. Every step you take, I am with you. Every tear you shed, I hold. every silent prayer I hear. Even when you feel alone, I am nearer than you imagine. Even when you turn away, I stand patiently waiting for your return. My love is unconditional, unwavering, and eternal. It is a firm foundation, a steadfast shelter, an embrace that never lets go. Walk boldly, my child. Hold your head high, for you are redeemed, called, and loved. Be courageous, for I have overcome the world. Be persistent, for your reward is certain. Let not fear bind your feet, nor shame cage your heart, nor disappointment steal your song. You were made to praise, to love, to live boldly. You are not alone, not meaningless, not lost. You belong to me forever and ever. My child, let this word be both an ending and a beginning. I am your new life. I am your strength. I am your joy and your peace. Rest in me, and when you awaken, know that each new day holds the promise, all things will be made new. You need only keep your eyes on me, hold my hand, and let your heart beat in the rhythm of my love. And step by step, day by day, you will see I am all you need. Thank you for receiving today's message. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that together we may embrace these living words, build steadfast faith, and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.